Good afternoon, everyone. Golden Ticket to History coming to you on a very dreary day, a very rainy day, and maybe the weather is fitting considering the nature, the theme of today's video. Today I am in a very small cemetery in Dr. Phillips, Florida, about a mile or so south of the Isleworth luxury subdivision. For those of you who are familiar with Central Florida, Isleworth is home to many celebrities, many business magnates. Shaquille O'Neal had a home there, Tiger Woods had a home there, as well as various other prominent members in the entertainment, business, and sport athletic spectrum. We're here today to pay our respects to a phenomenal golfer, and as well as to, the gentleman, he lived a very prominent life. He had ups and downs, definitely towards the end of his life. There was definitely a turn for the good. He had definitely had a new leaf in relations to his performance in his life, as well as a turning of his personality and who he was. So, the gentleman to which today's video is based on is it's a very tragic story about how his life came to end, and how the fact of the matter his life came to end at probably one of the most prominent moments in his life leading up to it. Who we're going to be visiting today is the final resting place of the famed golfer Payne Stewart. Payne Stewart has two final resting places. He has one final resting place in Springfield, Missouri, in a family plot. And I've seen some other YouTubers take and have gone and visited that final resting place and have talked about his story, talked about his accomplishments, his endeavors, as well as the unfortunate tragic events that are attached to his life. But he also has a final resting place here in Dr. Phillips, Florida, which is where he was living at the time of his passing. I've been doing a lot of research to try to determine which is his actual final resting place, and based off of some of the reports that I read, I believe, from what I've been able to read, that his actual final resting place is here in Dr. Phillips, Florida, and that maybe the monument in Springfield, Missouri is a cenotaph type monument so that he could have his name along with his family. Some of the evidence I had for that was I read some articles about how a few other professional golfers at the time decided to forego going to the final tour championship match that was supposed to take place that same weekend, and instead of taking and going to that match, they actually came here to Orlando to pay their respects at his funeral service. If you know confirmation as to whether or not this is actually where his humanly remains shall live in eternity, or if they actually were transported, or if there was a mixture of the two, please let me know in the comments. I'd definitely like to make sure that these claims are as factual as possible. But without further ado, we're going to look at the final resting place of the late, great Payne Stewart. As you can see, Payne Stewart passed away tragically on October 25th, 1999, which was coming up on this year would be 23 years ago. And the cemetery to which his final resting place lies is not a super busy cemetery. I'm not sure if it has to do with the exclusivity of it, such as is it difficult to get a final resting place here, or what the terms and conditions might have been. But there's not really a whole lot of interments here at this cemetery. But right here is the final resting place of William Payne Stewart. January 30th, 1957 to October 25th, 1999. The champion of our hearts, we will love you forever. There's also a Bible verse, as you can see here. I've set the Lord continually before me. He is at my right hand. I will not be shaken. Psalm 16:8. For those of you who may have known Payne Stewart or had followed him during his career, he was known for wearing a very unique outfit. He would always pay homage to the golfing attire of the 1930s and 40s. Very colorful, very long. He used to wear long socks, very fluffy shorts. His attire was definitely one to pay homage to the origins of the sport. His life was very tragic. On October 25th, 1999, he was to take and he caught a Learjet out of the Orlando International Airport. He was flying into Dallas to then take a limousine up to Fresno, Texas, to meet with some investors and developers about a new golf course they were going to be building in Fresno. He was then to catch a plane down to Houston to compete in the Tour Championship final match of 1999. The 1999 tour was a very monumental tour for Payne Stewart. He had a very, very successful win at Pebble Beach and also won the US Open that year. So he was definitely on cloud 9 leading up to the Tour Championship. Unfortunately, about 20 to 25 minutes after liftoff, roughly a little bit northwest of Gainesville, Florida, there tend to have been some problems going on with the Learjet. Aircraft traffic control out of Jacksonville, Florida tried to reach out to the pilots, to which there was no answer. The plane was supposed to fly up towards the Panhandle and then veer left, heading towards Texas. However, the plane continued on a straight trajectory north, cutting through Tennessee. There was a F-16 pilot who was doing a test mission in the Panhandle, who was sent up to intercept the plane to see what was going on. Once he intercepted the plane, he looked and saw that the windows were iced over, there was condensation on them, to which, once it's reported back to the aircraft traffic control, was one of the worst fears they could have had, because that must have meant that there was some type of pressurization problem going on inside of the plane. After continuous attempts at trying to communicate with the jet, they realized that something seriously was going on. That there must have been the pilot as well as the occupants must have been unconscious, and the plane was continuing to travel on autopilot. Throughout its course, there was 6 different F-16 pilots, 3 different sets, that were sent up to intercept the plane. Unfortunately, the final set was sent up out of South Dakota around 12:45 or so, 12:30 p.m. The plane left Orlando at just after 9 a.m. and not shortly before 1 p.m. right over top of Minna, South Dakota. South Dakota, they noticed that there was the plane started to sputter. It seemed as if the right engine had lost fuel and began to barrel roll as it was descending very quickly. A gentleman was hunting on his property when he looked up in the sky and saw some F-16 fighter jets. He then heard hundreds and hundreds of vehicles, police cars, ambulances going down the road heading towards the backside of his property, to which he realized very quickly something was wrong. Unfortunately, the plane crashed into the ground, leaving, I believe it was a 50 by 40 foot by 10 foot deep crater in the ground. There was no explosion because at the time the plane made its way to South Dakota. All of the fuel had been used up, so the plane was completely empty on fuel. And it's believed that all of the occupants were unconscious and most likely had passed away not long after takeoff. It was a very tragic story, very tragic event. It took the golf world, it took the sports world, it took the United States by storm. Within a very short time, news stations started to realize what was going on and began to record on this ghost plane that was flying through the sky on autopilot. Unbeknownst to most people, the great Payne Stewart was one of the occupants aboard the plane. It's a very tragic story. It's a very tragic end to a very, very great life, a very great person. He was not always well received by many of his colleagues during his earlier years. He was very arrogant in some instances. However, it is believed that he had a spiritual awakening through the help and persistence of his loving wife to seek out a new leaf on life. He began to become a lot more passionate person. And so yeah, it's a very, very tragic story. Hopefully the audio is not too bad. Again, it is raining right now. We have a nice little fountain behind us. Very peaceful, very, very peaceful. It's a little chilly this morning, you know. For Florida, it's about 48 degrees, which is a little chilly for Florida. I do not have my external mic today, so I'm hoping that the audio is legible. If not, I'll try to do some voiceovers. I've been trying to get out to this final resting place for a while. I knew that it was in Dr. Phillips. I didn't realize that it's actually a cemetery that I've driven past probably a couple hundred times. Right there is a pretty busy, well-known road. If you go about 20 minutes or so that way, you'll find yourself at the attractions SeaWorld, Universal. You go about 30 minutes that way, you'll find yourself at Walt Disney World Resorts. So it's right here in the heart, and if you go that way, you'll find yourself in downtown Orlando. The Citrus Bowl is, the Amway Center. So it's definitely in the heart. We're probably about 15 minutes away from the Woodlawn Memorial Parks, where a couple other famous interments are at. Bob Ross being one that you've checked out my videos with. If you would like, make sure you check that out. There's a plane flying over. I guess it's, I can't see it. It's very, very cloudy today. I guess that could be coincidental in the sense that we're here paying our respects to Payne Stewart and the tragic end to his life, which was extremely unfortunate. I pray that his family continues to find solace and can find peace. I know it's been 23 years, and I know that when you lose a loved one, the pain never really goes away. You just find different ways of living with it. So I hope that his family has been able to find some peace. And so as always, when I come to pay my respects to individuals, I like to leave a penny. A penny. Thank you. So yes, it's a very, very tragic story. I try to be, you know, when you do these types of videos, it's difficult. You know, even if you didn't personally know these individuals to which you're going and visiting, paying your respects to, we've watched them. I saw highlights. I've seen videos with Payne Stewart. I was fairly young when he passed away. I was only 8 years old. But I remember seeing his pictures in Sports Illustrated magazines and seeing highlights on the TV. So, you know, even if you don't have a personal connection to someone in some instances, it's still someone who walked the earth the same ways that we do, lived their life, and tragically their humanly life has ceased. However, their spirit lives on. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I hope that if you are someone who followed Payne Stewart or lived somewhere else and wish that you would have the opportunity to come and pay your respects, that you had those opportunities. You may not always have those logistically, have the opportunity to go visit a lot of different places, so I'm hoping that maybe you were able to come and pay your respects with me. You know, that's kind of some of the rationale behind the videos that I post, is to take you along with me. You know, I want to do this for myself. I want to go and I want to seek out and see things and to visit people and pay respects. And I know a lot of you may have liked to do that as well, but maybe you live somewhere really far away, or maybe logistically it's just not something that can happen for you. So I hope that you're able to come along with me to some degree when we visit these locations. We visit these famous final resting places, filming locations, haunted locations, that you get a chance to, for at least a brief moment, to vicariously travel along with me. Because you know, you're all with me when we go to these places. You know, I bring you along with me, give you a chance to see firsthand what's going on, and I'm hoping that I'm doing justice. You know, you always have to try to be as respectful as we possibly can be, especially when it comes time to paying respects to individuals such as the late great Payne Stewart. As I said before, he has two final resting places. One is in the family plot in Springfield, Missouri. The other is here. Some of the documentations I read online said that this is actually his final resting place because some of the professional golfers and other very prominent people in the sport came here in lieu of some other obligations to pay the respects to his funeral. If that information that I read was not factual, and you're someone who has a first-hand experience, or you may know the family personally, you know, please let me know. You know, I want to make sure that this video is being done correctly. As I said before in one of my previous videos, there's going to be a slight delay in some of the videos. You know, the last couple days I've uploaded some quick, brief little things. The next month or so is going to be a little slow, so I'm trying to catch a couple things right now while I have a brief moment. However, the next about month or so, there may be a slight delay. So definitely use that as an opportunity if you're new to my channel to check out some of my older stuff. You know, I have roughly almost 100 videos uploaded right now, ranging from filming locations, famous graves, haunted locations, theme parks, a whole bunch of different stuff. Weird oddities, sideshow oddities, side of the road oddities, back roads of Americana. So as always, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please make sure that you like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, so you can continue to come along with me as we seek out the back roads of America. And as always, continue to look for the history in film. If you like my videos and you would like to help support me, you can always take and share these on your social media outlets. You know, some of your pages, your friends. That way, some of your friends who may have the same interests will have the opportunity to come along with me as well. I do have some various different financial outlets as well. I have a PayPal link. For the most part, don't necessarily really post it and add it to the descriptions on my channel. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. You know, I may start putting it down at the bottom if you'd like to help provide some support to help along with these videos. My plans for the rest of 2020 are starting to branch out beyond Central Florida, going to other parts of the state and even leaving the state and going to other states. So definitely the financial aspects of it will become a factor eventually. So if you'd like to help provide some support now for future videos, that'd be greatly appreciated. Not necessary, but greatly appreciated. So yes, so Payne Stewart, rest in peace. May your family find peace. I hope that those of you who followed Payne Stewart or knew his family personally would hopefully find this video to be respectful. I try to be as respectful as I possibly can. I have a little bit of some My voice is a little raspy right now. I'll have to do with the weather, but yeah. So, I'm making this video way too long. But yes, so Payne Stewart, rest in peace. I'm glad I had an opportunity to come out here and pay my respects. Till next time, have a great day, everyone.